promoted Karl Zeiss Jena have been handed illustrious opposition in their first home game upon their return to the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga as Wolfsburg, the seven-time champions, visit the Ernst Aber Sportfeld, with both sides still chasing their first wins of the new season. James Surrogan, your match commentator, and as ever, delighted to have the pleasure of your company for the first game of Saturday's doubleheader in the Frauen Bundesliga. We're here in Jena, about an hour's drive from Leipzig on the banks of the River Saale in old East Germany. Charming little town. While autumn has well and truly arrived elsewhere in the country, sunshine still clinging on here at the Ernst Aber Sportfeld. Roles of favourites and underdogs clearly assigned, but as Werder Bremen proved on match day one, Wolfsburg aren't quite the irrepressible force they once were. Already you can see Karl Zeiss Jena keeping everything very tight and compact at the back, defending deep. Will be up to Wolfsburg to find the creative solutions to break this Jena side down. Historically speaking, these two sides have only met twice, with Wolfsburg winning both. Florian Kessner there, the young 25-year-old Jena head coach, said he was feeling good about the first home game, admitted it was against tough opposition as the ball flashes across the face of goal. He said and pointed to the game against Eintracht Frankfurt on match day one. Florian Kessner pointed out the fact that the phases of that game, they really did match the She-Eagles, and that as a result they can come into this game with a certain amount of confidence. Tommy Short was not a particularly happy man after match day one. That there were basic mistakes that led to a wild game in that 3-3 draw with Werder Bremen. We'll be hoping the proceedings this afternoon are a little bit more straightforward. Breaking pass finds Maria Rabanho. Wolfsburg firmly on the front foot in the first few minutes here. Jule Brandt knocked out of the air by Jasmin Janning. 19 years old, the Karl Zeiss Jena Academy graduate. She was in marvellous form against Eintracht Frankfurt. Match day one, making a string of good saves. Ultimately, her resistance, Jena's resistance, was broken in that 2-0 defeat. And then she was arguably the star of the penalty shootout in the DFB Pokal second round against Meppen, making 3 saves. When asked about her experience after the game, she talked about it all being a Bauchgefühl, or a gut feeling. Came to the instinct she showed in ultimately helping Jena book their ticket to the round of 16 in Germany's Soul Cup competition. She's going to be busy today as well, you would imagine. Jasmin Janning. Jule Brandt. Berenstein was on the move, but Brandt put the ball behind her. Right, Linda, a left back by trade, but multi-talented, multifaceted wing back that can play on the right where she is operating today. Here's Vivian Enderman. Hoot now finding Linda. First on that left foot of hers. Great cross and had to be dealt with. Lena Latvine. Pass goes astray, but won back quickly. Nice one-touch pass. Boots in a pocket of space. Now Alex Pop. Fist into Berenstein, not easy to deal with. Wolfsburg retained possession though. Plenty of space on the right. Instead the ball goes central. Thumbs up for Berenstein for the idea, but execution didn't quite match. Direkt das Gegenpress, so directly the counter press is the call from Wolfsburg. And Jasmin Janning didn't find Melina Reuter there with the pass, but in some ways just finding a pass into space is one way of alleviating the pressure, though Jena are going to need to find much better ways of doing that. They want to withstand the pressure that already, through 6 minutes, is starting to build here. Back in the 2021-22 campaign when these two sides met for the first and only time since Carl Zeiss Jena took the playing license from the club FFUSV Jena, which stands for the University Sport Club of Jena, who are still in operation, but it's now Carl Zeiss Jena who have the playing license for the highest level of the game. This is their second top-flight campaign. And in the first, Wolfsburg picked up a 5-0 win on home soil, and it was a 10-1 win here in Jena. And interestingly, 15 goals scored. Only one player scored more than once, and that was Jill Rord. Deep delivery, Berenstein with a head to the ball. Rabagno on the volley. Charged down and needed to be by Josefina Bonsu. But already you can see an indication of just how confident Wolfsburg are here in how advanced the positions are that Iria Rabagno is picking up from left back, because I don't think she's actually played as a left back so far, more as another left midfielder. Now corner comes in, fist in dangerously, and Marina Hegering, on a week where she announced her retirement for international duty with the German national team, with whom she won bronze at the Olympics, one of 8 bronze medalists in Wolfsburg's ranks, and she got up well, met the header well, but was always underneath it. Heavy fall, she will pick herself up, the 34-year-old. She has the nickname Maschine. Those bronze medal winners were honoured by Wolfsburg Mayor Dennis Feilmann during the week as well. Hegering, one of 8, as mentioned. Jule Brand, Vivian Endermann, Merle Forms, Katrin Henrich. Pass needed to be better there from just can't find an half. Geister just not strong enough in the challenge there. One of the 2 changes in the Jena starting lineup, along with Nicole Voldman. Both, funnily enough, have a history, having been on the books with Bayern's reserve side. Bayern, of course, being the main rivals for Wolfsburg on the domestic scene, and everyone talking about a changing of the guard after Bayern's back-to-back title wins. setting a Frauen-Bundesliga record for the longest all-time unbeaten streak, going 41 games unbeaten after last night's thrilling 6-2 win against Leipzig, where they fell behind early but showed their quality in the end. Hegering, oh what a challenge that is. Just tracking it down the whole time. Luca Birkholz needed to move the ball and didn't. A rare foray forward for Jena, but that is about as advanced as their lines have gotten. Right now we're waiting on Wolfsburg to provide the quality in the final third. Svenja Hoot. Berenstein wants it round the outside and gets it. Offside flag is up against the Dutch international. Well, if you can appreciate a goal scored from 25 yards, you've got to be able to appreciate the work done at the other end, and that was a marvellous challenge from Marina Hegering. She announced her international retirement on Friday, so yesterday. Said after 42 caps, something that she wouldn't have believed if you told her she'd earned 10 years ago. Still felt it was the right time to step away after that bronze medal winning exploits in France in the summer. Jule Brandt with the fleet footwork, bursting into the box. Jule Brandt and Felicia Stresser doing just enough to make life uncomfortable for Jule Brandt. Lost her footing for just a moment, but quickly turned the corner against the 16-year-old. Huge learning curve for Stresser in the Frauen-Bundesliga, going up against the likes of Jule Brandt, the calibre of player that she likely will never have met before. Oh, chance with the header, and it's Marina Hegering again. She had the run on everyone there, but just couldn't find the target. Something tells me she wants a goal this afternoon. Be met with authority. Good news for Jena is there was a challenging player, and right now Florian Kessner, seen at his side, have to batten down the hatches, something they will have expected to have to do today. Talked about them needing to be compact, needing to act as a unit, but ultimately pointed out that that's a basic requirement of their game, not just against a team like Wolfsburg, but of course it's put under the microscope and even more pressure than normal when you come up against this level of quality. Vivian Enderman. Two for company, and Reuter comes away with it, but gives it away cheaply. Put back in quickly, and Jule Brandt was in a wonderful position, had the ball come through. Rabagno picking up the pieces now. Brandt wants it. Pop clipping it in for Berenstein, and all clash of heads. Right decision there from the referee, Berenstein. It was a fair jump. It did look like there might have been a slight clash of heads there, along with Thomas Ihlenburg. Lots of promising moments in that 3-3 draw against Werder Bremen on matchday 1. Perhaps the latest to provide cause for concern here. Two head knocks in quick succession. That was a nasty one to the back. Jule Brandt's head, very vulnerable area of the body. type of situation where you would like to see sides on the side of caution. Moment though, just to break up the rhythm. For cars like Siena, you've got to say moments like this are invaluable in terms of chance to regroup, catch their breath, maybe just get a few tactical inflections from the sidelines from Florian Kessler and his coaching staff in terms of maybe something they've seen, the way that their players can react out on the pitch. For now, we've had just over a quarter of an hour played, and I would go as far as saying that about 15 of the 16 minutes now have all been played in Jena's half. Right now, Jena haven't even had a touch in Wolfsburg's final third. These sides did meet in pre-season. It's a 0-0 draw. Very impressive result from Jena's perspective. Though it's worth noting that Wolfsburg on that occasion were without their 8 bronze medal-winning national team players. And the thought was that the rising quality in the starting lineup today would help Wolfsburg have not quite as tough a time against Jena, but here come Jena. This is their first real chance to provide an attacking threat, and they've earned themselves a free kick right down on the byline, courtesy of Fiona Geiser's tenacity there, as well as a bit of a clumsy challenge there from Janina Minger at a moment where she didn't really need to make a challenge. There was no threat on. Now there's a degree of threat. All the early pressure has been Wolfsburg. Jena now, though, the chance and a free kick. And now the danger, because Berenstein's on the run. Pass had to be produced and just wasn't by the Dutch woman. Free kick taken quickly, but being retaken. That man's going to get a yellow card for obstructing the free kick. That's let's go Jena, not let's go Lena. Chant from the home crowd. Hegering unchallenged. That find not so, as Rabagno then steps in well. Now a bit of purchase in midfield. Had to play the first time pass Svenja Hood, but I'm not sure if even Enderman had to follow suit. Pratt steps in well. Calls from the sidelines there for movement in the Wolfsburg ranks. This is it, Jena have obviously taken notes from that 0-0 draw in pre-season and raised their defensive intensity a notch further, given the great individual quality they're facing here today. Defensively, no complaints so far. Going forward, very little to see, and it's not going to change as Svenja Hoot pitches the ball off of Melina Reuter, the 18-year-old who scored the equaliser for Karlsruhe in that DFB Pokal second round tie against second tier Meppen. A 1-1 draw after 90 minutes and 120, went to the shootout. Yasmin Yanning, the goalkeeper, making 3 saves. Nicole Gentile, the only player to miss from the spot for Karlsruhe. Vivian Enderman wants to try and pick out a teammate, fails to do so, and the follow-up effort from Svenja Hood leaves a lot to be desired. Which you once again could say about this Wolfsburg performance as a whole. I think it's fair to say the She-Wolves, they weren't necessarily expected to challenge Bayern München for the title on account of the major upheaval the club has gone through in the summer. Losing key players like Dominique Janssen, Lena Oberdorf, Eva Pajor. Wolfsburg no strangers to losing key players, but never have they really lost that many in one go, in what could be considered a bit of a mini exodus. And then the difficulty for Wolfsburg is to have lost ground on the opening weekend to Bayern has only actually provided more questions than answers. We are still wondering very much where this Wolfsburg side stands. What is the real impact of this transition? So far, a very patchy start to the season. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. Lost to Bayern in the Super Cup. Draw to Werder Bremen match day 1. And a 6-0 win against Hertha Berlin in the DFB Pokal second round, which was routine. But needs to be taken with a pinch of salt given the calibre of opposition. There was a surprise brace from Lynn Wilms, who had only ever scored once for Wolfsburg and then bagged 2 in a single game. Other goals scored by Chantal Hagel, Fenne Kalmer, Vivian Enderman and Arias. Summer signing from Barcelona's reserve side. For Wolfsburg, it's their 51st win in a row in the DFB Pokal, a competition they have won 10 straight seasons. It is in the Frauen Bundesliga, though, that Wolfsburg's grip has certainly been loosened and may be non-existent anymore on the Meisterschale, because Bayern have such a firm grip on it. It's not going to get any easier for Wolfsburg as well. On the Thorkus Hagering. Strong challenge, Lena Lavide lining one up, and Yasmin Yanning doing everything right. Got her body behind the ball. Given the lack of penetration Wolfsburg have been able to provide so far, then a shot from range is certainly one resource they can opt for. Pop. Looking to move it quickly, looking for Berenstein. Lovely ball, Berenstein! Snatches at the effort on the volley. And just to note, the Wolfsburg physios there were just checking on Eula Brandt after her knock to the back of the head, and she gave them a thumbs up. Strong challenge from Hagering, but a fair one. That is what her whole entire career has been built on. No nonsense defending. Reuter does well there against the German international Zohai Linda, but then Linda wins out eventually. shirt. Bar one now behind the ball for Jena. Familiar sight in this first half. It's a nice ball for Berenstein. Immediately closed down by 3. Shifting the play now to the right wing, Vivian Enderman. A chance for the early cross instead. Trying to burst into the box, teeing up Linda instead. Cross didn't really have enough height on it. Janina Minga will pick up the pieces under no duress whatsoever. Oh, now Linda skips past the challenge. And Latvine was there with the header. Emilia Taylor the tape though for Wolfsburg. A distinct lack of a clinical touch in front of goal. It's alright, Linda. It's the woman that scored Wolfsburg's first goal of the new season in her league debut for her new club, having signed from Hoffenheim in the summer. Lovely breakaway effort involving her and Lynette Berenstein. Then the game was turned on its head by Werder Bremen in that 3-3 draw. Tuana Mahmoud and Mühlhaus scoring before half-time to give Werder Bremen the lead, and a wild ending in that game saw Lena Latvine equalise. Seconds later, Janina Minga played a horrific pass towards goal that ended up in an own goal, despite Mela Holmes' best efforts to rescue the situation. And then Wolfsburg were ultimately spared some blushes when Alexandra Popp scored an effort from long range that really should not have counted, because there was conclusive evidence that the ball did not fully cross the line. It bounced on the line, the spin of the ball then took it away from goal. It should not have stood. Werder Bremen had the claim to win 3-2. Pretty impressive result for them nevertheless. In Wolfsburg, especially on the road. Now, that is why Wolfsburg, already on match day 2, will be feeling some pressure. Oh, Rabagno. Lovely delivery, and Vivian Enderman under pressure. Again, cannot find the target. The chances are starting to rack up now for Wolfsburg. They've been kept quiet for the most part in this first half. Jena's diligent defending continues to keep the She-Wolves at arm's bay. This game very reminiscent of the matchday 1 encounter against Eintracht Frankfurt. The She-Gulls on that occasion both scoring in the second half to secure a 2-0 win. Wolfsburg won a goal before half-time though. Just to add a little bit of ease into this encounter from their perspective. You can't argue that they wouldn't be deserving of it. Yes, they haven't been clinical, but the amount of chances they've created, the pressure, where this game has been played for the most part. I mean, in many respects, we've pretty much played in one half for 90% of proceedings so far. There's Julovic, the Alsace captain, got the calls of women on and quickly moved the ball. They do well to break the press there, Jena, and it's the right idea to try and play Nelly Yukel down that left wing. But as Jena will find here at the highest level, having the idea is one thing, executing it is a very different. Florian Kessner was delighted with his side press, but a cheeky back heel from Alex Pop broke it entirely. But I mean, in the context of this game, in the context of this season, a 0-0 draw against Wolfsburg would almost be akin to a win. I can't say here today. A reminder, the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga will be expanding next season from 12 to 14 teams. As a result, this season, just one side will be relegated from the top tier. And so, Kaisers Jena are one of a collection of clubs who simply just need to avoid finishing last to achieve their season targets. Right now, all the statistics speaking in Wolfsburg's favour, except the one that matters, that being the scoreline. Again, really promising play there from the newly promoted side, Kaisers Jena. And then one pass really lacks quality, plays straight into Wolfsburg's hands. Possession conceded, and immediately they have to collapse the lines again. They're certainly not overcommitting when it comes to getting numbers forward, are they, the home team? While Wolfsburg are just throwing everything at them, hoping something sticks, and that should be a corner, and it is. Enderman there, keeping Yasmin Yanning company, the young 19-year-old. Already dealing with tough circumstances, trying to acclimatise to life in the top tier, and Enderman not making life any easier. Rabanyo to deliver. Hegering's there again. Goodness me, that's a hat-trick of headers now for Marina Hegering. Berenstein keeping the chance alive. Brandt. Right, one challenge. Holds off another. Settles for the corner. Fifth corner of the game now for the women in neon green. Yasmin Yanning, though, still with just one save made so far, which is through 34 minutes against Wolfsburg. She's got to be pretty happy with. The key will be continuing to make saves on the rare occasions she's called upon. Wolfsburg's perspective, those situations have been far too rare this afternoon.